property, because I tried finding that 1700 Campton Street and had to go to Jennifer. I drove by that place, that's the old Boots Miller's house.
Yeah.
And the address on the garage in 10-inch letters is 1600. So it is a mess, and they are doing some cleanup there. And for the last 2 days, pickup trucks with bags. But that white car that's abandoned there, you can see in the picture, it's still there.
Well, there's actually 2 cars that are there, and they look like they're in the city right away at this point.
I think we need to push on this one, because that's gotten to be a real mess since we've passed on.
Well, and then, I mean, the pickup truck full of weeds, or the pickup truck full of trash that I drove by, that doesn't look like yard debris either, so.
And there's also a problem, there's 2 big pine trees in the background that are dead, and very possible catch fire all over on the property across the street, because they're that tall.
I know that was the kind of the instigating issue there of the complainant's fire hazard and dead landscaping trees. You brought up Councilman Flangus, so.
Grasses there for water, or anything.
So, do we then, if they're making an effort at this point, do we give them more time to do so? Or what do we feel?
So my understanding, they haven't contacted the city in any fashion to say,
Yeah.
hey, we're cleaning it up, or hey, we'd like more time, or anything. They haven't responded to any.
I'd make the motion due to lack of motion on their, action on their part to move forward with the abatement.
Yeah, agreed. Second?
A motion and a second, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried and so ordered. Item 11, Council Member City Attorney Manueli, discussion for possible action, approval of abatement action to include the removal of vehicles, parts, weeds, and debris on private property located at 900 Avenue C in Ely, Nevada, APN 002-013-08.
Mr. Motar did come by City Hall and provided pictures, and then I indicated to him that we would also like the Chinese elms cut down, so we did that, and then that was verified this afternoon. So I believe this property is in compliance now.
I did drive by there today, and it looks like there has been some significant cleanup.
Was that one of those apartments is where that is? Okay, yeah, it is improved a lot.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work. So then that can die for lack of
Yes.
Okay. And if there's no motions that anyone would like to make, that will die for lack of motion. We'll move on to item 12, Council Member City Attorney Manueli, discussion for possible action, approval of abatement action to include the removal of trash and debris on private property located at 272 High Street, Ely, Nevada, 18001, -045-08.
So are we talking about all the stuff in the front yard? Is that, yeah?
I drove by there and I couldn't tell, there are boxes of stuff inside, it's somewhat organized, but there's a lot of boxes with stuff in it. So what I didn't go drive there before the notice went out, so I don't know if that's an effort to move it in a somewhat organized mess.
Did they make any contact with the city of this property owner?
Yeah, it just looked like piles of stuff to me.
I'll make the motion, is a representative, 272 High Street here? If there's not, I'd say the same motion, for lack of action, to move forward with the debate.
I'll second that.
Motion from Councilman Alwarez, second from Councilman Beecher. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on to item 9, public comment. Please state your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, you're citing different people for different things, but you also have this item here, charred home on Avenue G, yet you came after me on 692 with very little damage. Nothing's been done there. My property is fenced, that one is not. It's been going over 2 years, or I can't remember how long the fire has been there. You also have Mr. Flangus, who is criticizing others, but yet he has a mess in his yard. He's got cars in the city right away. You're going after other people. They're not licensed, they're not insured. You can't have a double standard, Mr. Mayor. I've also turned in homes on Campton, no fencing. They're a hazard, attractive nuisance. You've not done anything on that in over 20 years. By Jack Halo Park, down by the railroad, you have an attractive nuisance, an old boat, broken windows. In that same area, you have an old warehouse, flying tin in unlicensed vehicles, yet you're coming after people like me, a veteran. You gotta treat me just like you do everybody else, Mayor. I'm making an effort. You're not allowing me to use my property as you do others. I can't make any money, and you want me to spend money to fix things. In that same area, fenced yard, open gate, vehicles, no licensing, RVs, no licensing, attractive nuisance, no effort at all. Here's another one, flying tin, on the way to the golf course. That's a nice effort, and you're worried about the little guy. Same area, bigger problems. Here's a modular home, falling apart, broken windows, attractive nuisance, not fenced off, yet you're worried about a little guy. Mr. Mayor, I've talked to you in the past about the Regional Planning Commission selectively enforcing rules and regulations they've formulated, as well as some of the members of the Planning Commission, ED City Council, possibly County Commission, selectively enforcing law when they in fact have problems also. We're going back to May of 21, and I've got other letters going even farther back than that. You got to stop the selective enforcement, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, Julie Spear no longer works here. I want to again reiterate, you need to do a audit of that position in the billings, and I want to know if Julie had a bond. My billing is still screwed up at 490 High Street. I pay every month, yet I've not gotten anything. You charged me $746 on my first bill just for capital improvement outside water, and there's no such item, and there's no reflection of that credit on any of the billing, Mr.
That's your
Mayor.
3 minutes, George.
You need to correct the problem, Mr. Mayor.
Any other public comment?
Mr. Mayor, can I just make a public comment on this abatement? If anybody has a problem with a property, that feels a problem, come to City Hall, fill out the proper paperwork, we can get it going. Some of the issues that Mr. Chad just talked about was in those conditions back when he was the mayor. This administration is addressing it aggressively. And talking about a building he had burned, I was the first fireman there to put water on it, probably 20 years ago, and the other buildings probably 25 years ago. He had done nothing in that period of time, so that's why those properties are turned in. If you have a problem, public, get hold of the city council or the city hall. They will give you the proper paperwork. It will be handled that way. This administration is aggressively going after these properties. There's hundreds of them in this community. Thank you.
When I was mayor, you were the city clerk, and you
Any
didn't
other
do
public
nothing.
comment?
Carl Marsh, for the record,
Mr.
most
Marsh.
efficient meeting I've seen out of the city council in a long time.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing and seeing none, and just a hair over 6:07. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? You're better at it, John. And I'm running the meeting. I was that. Obviously.
I'm proud to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's probably your last.
Line sign Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks very much.
Oh, yeah, that's never gonna do that either. I feel like you paid.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chatchis reporting.